I had forgotten about that bit of that trip many because everything else that dude talked about was just crazy. Coolest Uber driver ever.
Dude, like, so, okay, I'm gonna tell the story. We haven't told the story. This is great. So, for those of you that know, or rather, for those of you that don't know, we were at CitizenCon, and I spent the weekend with Void Wolf. Not like that. I'm not a call girl. He had an extra space, and rather than me, taking the 2-hour trip every day to get to the Civic Center, I stayed in the extra bed. Well, in our adventures, we ended up taking an Uber. I believe it was back to my place. Giggity, right? I just keep digging a bigger hole. To get Fat Burger, because we weren't sure we wanted to eat and we didn't want to pay like high prices for like no food, right? Because when you're in the LA Live area, you pay like super exorbitant prices. And so we went back, we grabbed some shit. I had to get some clothes because like I'm not wearing the same stanky shit for like 3 days. Some people at the con did. God, did some people worth it. Sorry, I won't go there. And we're literally getting in this Uber. This Tesla shows up, right? Well, it's not supposed to be a Tesla. It's supposed to be a BMW, a gray BMW, but it's like a white Tesla. And immediately that should throw up some red flags. But we're like, what the fuck ever? Who cares, right? It's a con. What happens at con stays at con type of bullshit. It's whatever. So we get in the car. He at least got the names right. And this dude was the most like I talk a lot, but this dude's stories I couldn't even compete with. He starts talking about, we were talking about marijuana and how like I was telling Void that the place that we would gone the night before was we call them trap shops, basically, like not legal dispensaries, and it reeked of that, right? I from the way they handled everything across the board, it was definitely not a legal place. But this dude thinks he's getting a good deal on this shit, and I'm just like, oh man. And we're talking about it in the car, and this dude starts talking. He thinks that I own a weed shop or something, and he starts talking about, yeah, man, I was a weed dealer back in the day, and like recently, actually, my brother and I were making millions of dollars, and boom, 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 boom. And he tells us this whole story about how his weed business went belly up, basically because some douchebags thought that it was okay to steal his shit. And so basically he's in the valley. And if you know anything about the valley, and like I think he said it was east side, west side, something like that. Basically he said it was it's like a usually 45-minute hour drive. He said he did it in like under like 10 minutes. And it's possible. Like if you could drive fast as fuck, it's possible, right? It wasn't probably quite that fast, but he said he saw the camera and the dude's like fucking busted into his shop, and he just fucking like he drew down there as fast as he could, and he's like fucking pow 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 motherfuckers, like, and they're shooting back, and like, oh dude, like this coming from an Uber driver, right? Or Lyft, it might have been Lyft, but this dude, holy shit, like the most engaging gangbanging motherfucker I've ever encountered. Like I've known a lot of gangbangers over the years, like recovering gangbangers. They got the 2 strikes and 3rd strike they're out type of shit. And so these guys have got some wicked crazy stories. Like one of them that I was talking to was talking about how he was like, fucking jacking cars while he was like hopped up on meth and shit. And like on the second one, they got him because he had a gun or some shit. And like, so he was on like a 2nd strike. And if he fucked up again, he's going to jail. And he's a firefighter and all that stuff. Like I met a lot of cool people. And like this Uber driver though, oh my God. It is like, holy shit. I never thought in a million years I was gonna get in a car with a drug dealing Uber driver. He's not a drug dealer, right? Obviously he had a dispensary and shit, but like the business is so ridiculous. But he was talking about like just how the industry now is so oversaturated that like the prices of the ounce went from like 320 an ounce, basically, is he was using like bigger numbers like pounds and shit, but like the price of 320 an ounce is basically like $150 now. Like nobody wants to pay any money for it because there's so many places to get it, and it was just absolutely fucking insane. Like all kinds of people, y'all. Like I always enjoy a good conversation, a good story, and this dude
was
did
cool
not
as fuck.
disappoint.
I believed every bit of his stories, and even if they weren't 100% true, he delivered them so well. Lol.
Oh dude, no, they were true. Like they were true. I never for a second doubted the validity of his claims. There might have been some exaggeration, but I also know how big the weed business is because I've known people that worked in it. I know people that have gone up north to Trim and Humboldt. I know people that have worked on plantations illegally up in not Santa Clarita, but Lancaster, where they got raided here about 6 months to a year back or some shit. That illegal Armenian plot farm. I know somebody who was up there working like just before that happened, but he had got out prior to it. And so like I it was crazy hearing this story. It's just like, and then at some point I have to be like, no, dude, I don't own a shop. We were just talking about my shop that I usually go to. He's like, oh, all of that because he thought I owned a weed shop. Like, I wish, dude. If I had that kind of money coming in, I wouldn't be buying Escalades. I'd be paying for my viewers to come out. Like, I'd be giving away a CitizenCon each year or some shit, you know? Like, the fuck? Get out of here. I wish. Like, nah, dude, I just stream on Twitch and I'm on disability, man. Trying to get back to real life.